This video is for the Friendship Express collaboration, and all the information about that is in the description box, if I could talk, along with the link to the playlist. So I kind of shifted gears. I had a different project in mind that I kind of started, but realized, nope, I got to do something quick. So I just started winging it. While my resin was in my Let's Resin bubble removal machine, I decided to take this goldish chameleon powder from Baltic Bay and brush it in all of the sides. I started to clean up the mold when I was done. However, I thought it would be really cool to have maybe a little bit of the gold mica on the sides, like kind of almost framing the piece. So then I'm going to bring my resin over here in just a moment, and I'm going to end up splitting it into 3 cups. Yeah, there I am trying to clean it up a little bit. I'm going to do a purplish color, a purple mica powder. It's like some kind of off-brand from a set of 100 colors that I had purchased off of Amazon a few years ago. I don't even know if that set is still available. I should check and see. But it seems to be a pretty good mica powder, even though it was cheap. So sometimes cheap mica powder works. Then one of them I'm just using black pigment paste, and the other cup you will see I'm going to end up with gold foil and putting that in the cup that has a little bit less resin in it. Because I didn't want a lot of that gold foil, it was just going to kind of split the purple and the black. Oh, and I struggled with that. Man, that foil just loves to stick to your fingers. And then the thought occurred to me after I was mixing up my pigments that I asked myself, why did I do this after I removed bubbles? Because I'm introducing more bubbles. But it is what it is. Sometimes I forget. I try to mix up my pigments before I put it in the debubbler. But not this time. But it all works out in the end. I end up with no bubbles in the end product. Spoiler alert. And I'm using the Let's Resin pigment paste that's in that bottle. I mix it up real well. It's worse to have unmixed pigment paste than it is to have unmixed mica powder, because you run the risk of it not curing properly if the pigment paste is not fully incorporated. There I am. And you know, I just totally winged it here. You know, I had a general idea in my mind about 5 minutes before I started mixing up my resin. This mold takes about 7 ounces. I think I mixed up 8 just to be on the safe side. I do end up with a little bit of extra, but I did use up all the black, and I used up all the gold foil pigment resin. I did have some purple left over, and I got down to eye level to take a look because I wanted it slightly domed, you know, less trimming, but of course I ended up with trim work anyhow. But I didn't want to over pour because I have this really, really bad habit of over pouring. I try to dome and I take it a little bit too far. I used to have the opposite problem. And here I am pouring my butterfly. I had so many black butterflies. I was glad to finally get a purple one. That is a hand cut mold. I did purchase that off of Amazon. And you could tell it's a hand cut mold. So this, I did not want a dome. And, you know, I did squeeze it to try to make sure it got it all into all the parts. And it worked out great. Oh, there I'm spilling it because I tried to move it. I should have put that on a napkin. And that is a pocket hug. Has a paw print on it. I've done a few of them. And I've already shown that mold on this channel. There I am trying to clean up a little bit of overpour on that butterfly. And there ends up being overpour on that pocket hug also. And I still had extra left. Not a whole lot, but enough that I was able to fill up this other mold that is a bunch of paw prints and little cat heads. Good for pendants, good for earrings. The small ones, not so much for pendants. I think they're a little bit too small in my opinion. But definitely good for some kind of inclusion or decorative element. I actually thought about using it on this tray. And then I thought, nah. You'll see at the end, well, you probably already saw with the thumbnail, I end up using the butterfly as an element that I glued down to the tray. And the glue I was using is called Fabri-Tac. I used it all the time with scrapbooking, and let me tell you, once that stuff is dried, you're not moving it, you're not pulling it apart. It's as good as E6000. I thought it would be easier to work with, but I soon found out to be wrong. And here, it's in the curing machine. I'm going to have it run at 149 degrees for 2 hours. It'll be fully cured, and then we can demold. Okay, it is time for demolding. We're going to start with the extras. These, my little kitties. Makes great little inclusions. Could also make them independents. The small ones, maybe earrings or add them on as a decoration of some sort. And the two little ones, I was amazed. There's like no trimming on these. It's like I domed them perfectly and no overpour. I am proud of myself. Pat myself on the back. For once, I don't overpour something. These are the pocket hugs. This one is definitely overpoured. Needs trimmed. Oh, a lot of overpour. These are still kind of warm. And I'll just take a file and file the edges, smooth them out. I love these pocket hugs. They are so cute. I can't believe I just did that. Uncured resin. That was on my mat, and I don't want to get this on any of my pieces. So I got to kind of clean that a little bit. All right. Okay. Then we've got the butterfly. It's a 3D butterfly. I've used this mold quite a bit. I have a couple black ones, a light blue one. Those with alcohol inks. That mold needs cleaned. Oh my gosh, that mica powder. You know what? The camera does not do this justice at all. Okay. Now, I thought that this was all protruding, but it wasn't. Thank goodness. It's still a little bit worn, but I think I could take it out. The back looks pretty. I'm anxious to see what the front looks like. Little bit of overpour right here. No big deal. Little bit of trimming. Gotta clean up these molds. Probably need to get the deburring tool out. But are we ready to see the front? Okay, some of the mica powder floated. I had this idea, if not all of it was 100% clean, that it might show a little bit of scattered gold just like sprinkled in. And it does. Might be a little bit much. Is it good enough for a craft fair? Probably. The gold sides from that gold chameleon powder. I'm not upset with that. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more clear. But resin's going to do what resin's going to do. I kind of like it. So I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup and take a final video shot of the projects today.
Jenn, a crazy crafter, coffee in her hand, pouring out the resin like a queen of a wonderland. Glitter on the table, mica's in the air, gold and sparkle magic, yeah, she's crafting everywhere. Resin flow, watch it glow, casting memories we know. Jewelry, keychains, trays in line, sparkle and shine, it's red.